to come and participate here to bless the author and extend best wishes. So good evening and a very warm welcome once again to this book launch ceremony. The book is called Plan or Perish and the author Rakesh Saraf. Rakesh ji is a visionary, somebody who's got clarity where we are and where the business has to grow. It was in 1996 that Rakesh ji founded InfoDrive India Limited, and this organization has completed 25 years of its existence. Congratulations on the Silver Jubilee. All the best to InfoDrive India Private Limited. Thank you very much, Rakesh ji. And of course, we're extremely honored to share that the chief guest of today's book launch ceremony is also here. Please welcome Rahul Jain, India's #1 business coach. I request Rakesh ji and Madhu ji to please present a bouquet of flowers to welcome Mr. Rahul Jain, somebody who pioneered the concept of business coaching in India. I request the chief guest, as is the Indian tradition, to light the lamp so that we can start with the auspicious beginning. I request the contributors to the book, please join in. The book, Plan or Perish, has got contributions from various entrepreneurs, professionals, their success stories, and it'll be really nice if you can join us for the lamp lighting ceremony. तो रिद्धि सिद्धि के दाता, विघ्नहर्ता गणेश जी का आशीर्वाद हमें मिल चुका है और मैं महसूस कर सकता हूँ सकारात्मक ऊर्जा आज यहाँ इस सभागार में। तो अब मैं अनुरोध करूँगा राकेश जी से कि वह आएं और प्रार्थना पढ़ें ताकि हम ईश्वर से कृपा भी कर सकें, उनका धन्यवाद भी कर सकें। राकेश जी।
हे ईश्वर, आपका कोटि कोटि नमन। आपकी कृपा से हम निपुणता, नवीनता, ईमानदारी और सद्भाव के मूल्यों के साथ एक सफल और आनंदमयी संस्था का निर्माण कर सके। आपके मार्गदर्शन से हम सारे विश्व से ग्राहकों का, सरकारों का, विक्रेताओं और सभी साझेदारों का सहयोग मिला। आपके आशीर्वाद के कारण हम अपने ग्राहकों की भरपूर मदद कर दिन दूनी रात चौगुनी उन्नति कर रहे हैं। हमारा व्यापार दुनिया के प्रथम स्थान पर है। हम हमारे 10 लाख ग्राहक बनाने के लक्ष्य को 3 साल में पाकर रहेंगे। हे ईश्वर, आप सदा हमारे साथ रहें। जाने अनजाने में हमसे कोई भूल हुई हो तो हमें क्षमा करें। आपका कोटि कोटि धन्यवाद। This is the prayer which we read every month. In every town hall meeting, we do this manifestation that we are going to reach this goal, and this is so powerful for us. I definitely learned this from Rahul Jain, so thank you again, Rahul, for this.
तो ईश्वर की कृपा हमें मिल चुकी है। And they say that when you pray, you talk to the Almighty, and when you meditate, you listen to the Almighty. So thank you very much for the prayers. And of course, let's now also get a glimpse of Indian tradition, हमारी संस्कृति, हमारी पहचान। तो कार्यक्रम में आप सभी का स्वागत गीत संगीत से। प्रस्तुत है राजस्थानी लोकगीत केसरिया पालम, और उसे प्रस्तुत कर रहे हैं युवा गायक रमन, और उनका साथ देंगी प्रिया।
साजन हो साजना, साजन साजन मैं करूं, साजन ही बड़ी जड़ी, साजन लिख दूं मैं बाँचूं घड़ी पधारो म्हारे देश देशरी, पधारो म्हारे देश। पधारो म्हारे बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और आप सभी को बहुत बहुत स्वागत है।
प्रिया जी की मधुर आवाज पसंद आई हो तो तालियों से एक बार फिर बताइए।
थैंक यू सो मच।
रमन जी की गिटार पर धुनें अच्छी लगी हो तो उन्हें भी बताइए। कलाकार का हौसला अफजाई से मनोबल बढ़ता है और आज की ये शाम में गीत संगीत एक इंटीग्रल कंपोनेंट रहने वाला है। तो यदि आपको किताबों में रुचि है तो बहुत ही अच्छे, नहीं तो गीत संगीत में है तो भी आपको शाम का बहुत आनंद आएगा। तो चलिए, आज की संध्या में अलग अलग कंपोनेंट्स हैं, तो बुक लॉन्च पर तो हम आएंगे ही, और किताब की क्या खास बात है, ये हमारे बिजनेस को नेक्स्ट लेवल ले जाने में कैसे मदद करेगी, इस पर तो हम बातचीत करेंगे। लेकिन उससे पहले आइए, थीम डिस्कशन में एक थीम का टॉपिक है जिसमें बेहद अनिवार्य है कि हम सभी अपने अपने अनुभव सामने रखें। तो थीम डिस्कशन का जो टॉपिक है वो ये है कि डेटा बेस्ड डिसीजन मेकिंग अ की टू स्ट्रेटेजिक सक्सेस। डेटा बेस्ड डिसीजन मेकिंग अ की टू स्ट्रेटेजिक सक्सेस। तो इसमें हमारे 5 केंद्र बिंदु हैं, 5 पिलर्स, और ये हमें सरलता से समझाने का प्रयास भी होगा कि हम डेटा की अहमियत कैसे समझें। तो 5 पिलर्स कौन से हैं भला? सबसे पहले इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ डेटा, सेकेंड क्वांटिटी ऑफ डेटा, थर्ड क्वालिटी ऑफ डेटा, फोर्थ एक्सेप्टेंस ऑफ डेटा और उसी से जुड़ेगा जर्नी ऑफ डेटा, और 5वां सबसे महत्वपूर्ण लेवरेजिंग द डेटा। तो आइए एक एक करके चलते हैं। इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ डेटा, आप हाथ खड़ा करेंगे तो मैं आपके पास आ जाऊंगा, नहीं भी करेंगे तब भी आऊंगा। इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ डेटा में आप में से कौन शुरू में बताना चाहेगा? आप मौजूदा दौर में, खासतौर पे कोविड के बाद जहां पर डिजिटल पुश काफी मिला है, आप डेटा की अहमियत को कैसे बयां करेंगे? लेट्स स्टार्ट विद विकास।
देखिए, डेटा सबसे ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है। आई थिंक अगर आपके पास डेटा ही नहीं है तो आपको यही नहीं पता कि आपको टारगेट किसको करना है। आई मीन, यू डोंट नो योर टारगेट कस्टमर्स, यू डोंट नो वेयर, मतलब इट गिव्स यू अ डायरेक्शन। सो द डेटा आई थिंक इज फर्स्ट थिंग विच इज मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट।
ओके, तो यहां पर मुझे कीवर्ड दिखा, डेटा गिव्स यू द डायरेक्शन। अब याद रखिए, कुछ सालों में हमने और भी जुमले काफी सुने हैं, जैसे एक तो ये था डेटा इज द न्यू ऑयल, कई लोगों ने कहा जी डेटा इज द न्यू वाटर, कईयों ने तो ये भी कह दिया डेटा इज द ऑक्सीजन। तो डेटा गिव्स अस डायरेक्शन। और कोई इस तरह की बात आपके जहन में आती है जिससे कि डेटा की इंपॉर्टेंस निखर कर सामने आए? जी सर।
नहीं, मैंने उठाया तो नहीं, पर बोल देता। सो आई थिंक इट मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंटली फॉर मी इट हेल्प्स यू एलिमिनेट बायस। बायस एलिमिनेट करने में हेल्प करता है, ऑब्जेक्टिविटी आती है डिसीजन में,
बायस हटता है। ओके जी, संजय जी।
डेटा, अगर चाहे हम एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट की बात करें या कोई भी और बिजनेस की बात करें, अगर डेटा है तो यू नो वेयर यू आर गोइंग, यू नो वेदर यू वांट टू डू दिस और नॉट। जैसे कहा कि बायस हटता है, ऑफ कोर्स बायस भी हटता है, और साथ में इनडिसिसिवनेस जो है वो हट जाती है। यू कैन मेक द डिसीजन विथ श्योरिटी, यू कैन मेक द डिसीजन विथ मोर कॉन्फिडेंस।
That's great value addition. That data helps us make more credible decisions. Yes.
Well, the end objective of any business decision is profits. And to achieve profits, you need to close orders. And to close orders, you need to have leads in place. And to have those leads, I think data plays a very, very crucial role. So data is the most important thing to earn profits. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. And do share your name as well.
Ashim.
Ashim. And Ashim has interest in guitar and music too, right? Well, Ashim is a rock star as well, that much I can tell you. Yes, any other thought that comes to your mind on importance of data, sir? Do introduce yourself as well.
Myself, Sunil Agrawal, a practicing chartered accountant. What I find most important is the timely decision. If you do not have the data, you cannot take the decision in time. And the decision not taken in time is not... So that is more important, than how fast you take the decision with the help of the data.
Okay. Thank you very much. Well, we are joined by our guests on Zoom as well. So let's see who all are with us. We've got Praveen Jajuji, good evening. Kamal Tandanji from GAIL, Ankurji, and we've got Anita Sangiji. Anita ji, can you hear my voice?
Of course. Yes, Amit.
Okay, so if you can just increase the volume here. Let me tell you quickly, Anita ji is a chartered accountant qualified in 1992, and she's the senior vice president with Entity Data Services. So, Anita ji, what's your take? How do we understand the importance of data? Is it the oil, water, oxygen? How will you define it?
So we call it data as a big asset in the company. But I was really pleased to hear all the responses there. And I think everyone just nailed it. Data is becoming the central to the strategy of any company. And someone said that you need to know where you're going. That is so true. So yes, the importance of data is becoming very, very important, more as being very strategic to drive differentiation in the marketplace. So today, if you're running a company in this digital age, and if you're a businessman, you're required to be quick on your feet and use various technology trends. And one of those technology trends we call as big data. And most businesses have Facebook, Uber, Airbnb, Google. They are using data to be in the forefront. So I think this topic today is extremely relevant, Amit.
Okay, thank you so much. So we are almost sure in agreement, in alignment of the first pillar, importance of data. And like Anita ji says, data is an asset. It's an asset which grows in value with time. Let's come to the second pillar, quantity of data. Let me ask you a question. Raise hand if you would like to attempt that. Can you tell me every day what quantity of data is generated worldwide? हर रोज कितना data generate होता है एक दिन में विश्व भर में? Yes, do introduce yourself. That's it. Yes.
My name is Arora Sharma. By profession, I am an engineer, and exact figure I don't know, but there is a trillion plus data generated every day.
Trillion is 10 raised to power. 9 is billion. Million is 6. Billion is 9. Trillion is 12. Okay, so that's not the right answer, by the way. Trillion 10 raised to power 12 is not the right answer. Yes, but good attempt. At least we've got little better than 10. Yes. How much data generated every day worldwide? At least we've got one figure so far. Trillion, which is not right. Sorry? Zillion. Sanjay ji, good attempt. It's like X-ray. Rontagan said X-ray. Zillion. Yes, anyone? Let's get, yeah. Do you want to attempt? How much data?
I think unlimited.
Unlimited? No, we've got certain figure to it. Anji?
Trillion into trillion.
It's not trillion into trillion. It's billion into billion. Anita ji, what's the figure?
Yeah, it is 2.5 quintillion, which is, like Amit said, billion into billion.
Yes.
So, and that is a staggering 18 zeros. So,
absolutely.
Yes, it's a huge amount of data we create every day.
Our population is 1.3 billion, right? 10 raised to power 9. 10 raised to power 9 into 10 raised to power 9. 10 raised to power 18, which even I didn't know till we started this, is called quintillion. Quintillion. 2.5 times quintillion data is generated every day. Mind-boggling. Praveen Jaju ji is with us. Sir, we're still figuring out how many zeros. Now, how do we take this challenge of quantity of data and then move to the third pillar of quality of data?
So good afternoon everyone, good evening. And definitely the amount of data generated is mind-boggling. But The idea is how do we put it into action? What is the analytics we are doing around it? And how are the organizations using it in the right perspective to take strategic decisions which are very vital for, putting up, let's say, a new greenfield project or getting an entry into any particular new market or investing some money or taking over some organization. So the analytics, I think, plays a key role here. And that is where the major emphasis should be,
Absolutely. And you talk about data analytics and you talk about quality. And the first recall that comes to my mind is InfoDrive, Rakesh Saraf. How do you ensure quality?
So let me answer this. So data is useless if it is not authentic. It will be actually misleading and it will be detrimental if you have wrong data. So for us, it's like our dharma. It's non-negotiable. The data quality has to be absolutely authentic. So we follow a lot of rigorous checks for that. And for any organization, anybody to rely on data, data has to be absolutely non-negotiable about the quality. It has to be absolutely perfect. That's what I would say. It is like a dharma. धर्म है कि डेटा तो सही होना ही चाहिए उसके बिना डेटा का क्या फायदा it will actually mislead you it will cause damage.
Thank you very much. So I think that's a good point. Good data leads to good decisions. Bad data will lead to bad decisions. Yes, anyone? Your thoughts on the quality of data? Any challenge or a change that you would like to tell us? Because then we'll note it. We've got Jyoti right here. Where are you, Jyoti? She's right there. She's taking notes and we'll put the slides so that all our viewers on YouTube can also understand this beautiful day, the importance of data. और आज तो दिन खुशी का दिन है. यूं तो खुशी किसी दिन की मोहताज नहीं, लेकिन आप जानते हैं 20 मार्च की क्या विशेषता है? संयुक्त राष्ट्र आज का दिन इंटरनेशनल डे ऑफ हैप्पीनेस के तौर पे मनाता है. तो अगर आप आगे पीछे ना भी मुस्कुराते हो, आज तो दायित्व बनता ही है मुस्कुराने का. जी बताइए, क्वालिटी ऑफ डेटा पर आपके कोई विचार या आपकी संस्था ने कैसे मार्केट डेटा इंटेलिजेंस ली और उससे आपको सफलता मिली? यस सर, अपना परिचय भी जरूर दीजिएगा.
My name is Arun Goel. All my life I have done only database. So when I joined my first job, I was being an MBA. I was emphasizing on data, and in that job they said, "Acha, you are interested in statistics." So they only know data as statistics. So the only point I'd like to make here is that there is a difference between data and information. And unless that data is formatted and presented in a particular manner, only then it is useful. So very often, as you see in the GDP figures and so on, the data is doctored and presented in a particular way to give a particular viewpoint. So I strongly suggest that we should distinguish between data and information. That's all.
Thank you very much. Jyoti, do note that point, the challenge that data can be manipulated. So it's very necessary that we do check the authenticity of data. Anyone else on the quality of data, third pillar? Yes, sir.
I'll say, my name is Tarun Kochar. So I'll say that quantity is important, but I think quality is more important than the quantity. Data should be less, but the quality is more important. If it's authenticate, correct, then it's fine. Otherwise, there's no use, wrong strategies, misleading, and wrong direction, or wrong learning maybe, if I'll say. Your learning gets wrong. So quantity, yes, but quality is more important than over quantity even.
Absolutely. I think that's a brilliant point. To those who are joining us on Zoom, Ankurji, would you like to share your thoughts on the three pillars so far on the importance, quantity and quality?
Sorry. First, let me congratulate Rakesh on the launch of his book. And I think, as you rightly said, that all these pillars are very important, especially the accuracy of the data, because I think if the information is accurate, it will help you take well-informed decisions and help you better understand the customer requirements as well as the competitive landscape. And equally important is the timing of the decisions. So I completely agree with the rest of the panelists as well and the people there that yes, accurate information in a timely manner is very important in decision making.
Okay, thank you very much. Kamalji, if you can hear my voice, would you like to share your thoughts?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Kamalji is the Executive Director with GAIN. Sir.
Hi, I'm Vivek from Action Tessa and Microtech. First of all, congrats to Rakesh. And we have been happy customer of InfoDrive from more than 15 years, right? And the best part of the data is कि अगर राकेश जी की टीम को ये बोलते हैं कि डेटा में हल्का सा हमें को डाउट लग रहा है, the service is so quick कि इनका immediately कोई ना कोई बंदा कनेक्ट करेगा, उसको हेल्प करेगा और हमें सॉर्ट आउट करके देगा. That's also a beauty of InfoDrive. That's the first thing. One of their employee, Mr. Pranjal, is there. I can see here. He's 16-year-old in the company. And Rakesh ji को तो बहुत बाद में जाने हम लोग, right? लेकिन प्रांजल ने ही माल बेच दिया था. राकेश जी तो पता नहीं क्या कर सकते हैं. But we are happy, first of all. Second, as far as the importance of data. So, data say like in Microtech we have a sales team of more than 500 people. And in Tessa we have more than 1600 people working in the plant. अब इन सबको अगर मॉनिटर करना है तो जब तक एक डेटा फॉर्मेट में नहीं है तब तक यही नहीं समझ आ रहा कहाँ हो क्या रहा है. बिकॉज आप किसी से पूछते हो यार सेल कैसी चल रही है, सर अभी ना वो सीजन अच्छा नहीं है, बस ऐसा कुछ कहानी सुना देता है. लेकिन अगर डेटा पॉइंट कर रहा है कि वो कितनी कॉल्स कर रहा है, कितना क्या काम कर रहा है, तो इट हेल्प्स अस. वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट बेनिफिट वी हैड ऑन डेटा इज that when we are buying lot of raw materials from imports, a lot of chemicals, the data from InfoDrive has helped us to get new vendors and also have a price point and also the trend of the price, that what trend of the price is happening. So that's a great benefit we have got, millions of rupees, right? So, and second benefit we also got is we were planning to put up a new plant, a big capex. In that also the data analyst helped us to actually extrapolate that what will happen after 2 years. So that also helps. So data, I can say, as you said, oxygen, oil or whatever, I think so it's the life of an organization. Without data, I think so, data, we cannot work now. We are now so come. And thanks to Rahul Jainji, our coach, who has made us MIS as our lifeline, right? So thank you, sir. Please.
Thank you very much. That's Vivek ji from Action Tessa. I remember each one of us will go nostalgic with that ad, Action ka school time. So you see him, you're the first, that's the first recall. But while Action Tessa management has accepted the data, perhaps one of the challenges, not many management do so. Anyone like to share that we were knowing about the quality of data, but the fourth pillar, accepting the data, was a struggle. Anyone? Did you struggle accepting the data? Well, say it yourself.
Rather, I'm a very happy customer of InfoDrive. So I can say one thing, कि my father gave me one mantra, hard work is key to success, okay? I put a lot of hard work and I was just sharing one example. I was exporting 10, 12 containers to Singapore and same amount rice to Mauritius. And I was thinking this is a saturation. When my son joined the business, he came in contact with InfoDrive. So in his very first visit to Singapore, after 4 days, with the help of this data, which he got from InfoDrive, he called me, I have sold 180 containers, should I sell more? I was taken back. This is InfoDrive. This is InfoDrive. Second thing, Mauritius. To be honest, I have rather felt ashamed to tell the actual figure. I was just exporting 2 to 3 containers to Mauritius. And my son made it to the level of 15,000 tons. It was an amazing figure. And I have to add one thing more. Mr. Rahul Jain polished more to grow further. So these are things we have learned from these two friends.
So it's 4 generations now, sir? 4 generations in Maharani Rice? 3rd generation. Well. And Rahul, of course, is all keen on the 4th generation as well. When the students perform very well on the stage, what you don't see is behind the wings teacher feeling, such pride. Is that how you feel when Vivek says, Rahul helped me, when Setia Saab says, and so many more? How does the business coach feels when the business scales up X number of times?
So let's keep it about Rakesh today. So Rakesh, so it really feels great. I mean, this is my driver in life. But having said that, let me just come back to data. So the way I look at it, the only truth in life, as far as business life is concerned, is data. Except data, there is nothing in business. बाकी तो मैं सबको समझाता हूँ कि पंचायत चल रही है. हाँ जी क्या हो रहा है? अच्छा चल रहा है. क्या हो रहा है? नहीं जी ठीक नहीं चल रहा. If you do not have the data, it's like blindfolded you're trying to run a business and you are for sure going to collapse or you will not be able to grow. So the only truth is data and converting that data into meaningful information. And when that meaningful information comes to you, that's when you can run a business. There is nothing else in business except data in every area of business. Whether you're talking about operations or sales or marketing or any aspect. And the way Rakesh has managed to, I mean, there are so many of my participants who are common customers with Rakesh, and all I hear is good things about him. And the kind of work that they do, so proactive, so amazing, and the way they have helped businesses grow to the next level just because of the right data at the right time. So amazing work done by their company so far.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Arunji.
I would like to... I am Arun Goyal. I have been involved in databases right from 83, 84 onwards. And basically, I am a customs and WTO man. I have been doing it. Custom tariff book. Custom tariff book, which is now in 2 parts. It is now in the 45th. 45th edition. But apart from what I have done, there is a lot more to be done. There are 2 points I'd like to make, the good point that he has made. One is that data has its own politics. Okay? Now, सेठ जी कहते हैं कि नहीं ये यहाँ पे प्लांट लगनी है, या राहुल बजाज सेठ की राजीव बजाज ने जो है वो हरिद्वार में प्लांट लगाया है, बुद्धू है, you know. Now, they don't want to look at the data because their premonitions or their pre-decided things have made them decided मुझे आता है, तो मुझे कौन बताने वाला. So data, when it is revealed and it is presented, you know, it has its own politics and starts many things going. So Rajiv Bajaj told his father, Haridwar sahi hai, and he was right. He shifted from scooters to motorcycles. But that was because of data. So that's one point I'd like to make. The second point I've told Mr. Saraf also many times is that there is a politics of data. Now take, for example, GSTN. Everything has to go through GSTN. Every transaction has to be much more than what customs bills of entry or shipping bill is. Much more than that. But nothing comes out of that black hole. Nothing. You look at the website, they don't give any data whatsoever apart from revenue collections. But it is a public service. So there we have to fight it out, and transparency, right of information, freedom of the press, constitution, all these things come out. So they don't want to give out anything. So that is where I think what I will request Mr. Saraf, and I will help him, is to create a thought process by which data is revealed and it is put in the public domain. That's what I like to say.
Okay. Thank you very much. Jyoti, do note that. How can we sift the data, and the important data is then also accessible in public domain, whatever is required. So we've got 4 pillars so far. Importance of data. Data is an asset. We've talked about quantity, not zillion, not infinite, 2.5 quintillion, that's billion into billion. We talked about the quality, like you said, that quantity is so much, quality is very necessary. And the 4th is acceptance, like Setia Saab said, that maybe generation over generation may have much more acceptance, especially the Gen Z who are born in digital world only. They know iPads, everything, so they are more comfortable. But when you talk about the acceptance of data or the growth of the organization, like you said, from scooter to the other diversified products, it also depends upon the journey of data. So I request CA Anita Sanghi, if you can tell us, in terms of the journey of data, what are the words that are used? Because we often hear these words, data laggards, data differentiators. What are these words? How do we understand them, Anita ji?
Okay, so we look at this journey as going from data laggard to data disruptor. So the first stage is the data laggard, and then we have data monitor, data aspirant, data differentiator, and then finally the data disruptors. And I don't think there are any guesses. The data disruptors are the names that I just mentioned a while back. Companies that are using data to disrupt the market, which is the way Airbnb came and disrupted the whole hotel industry, or Uber disrupted the way transportation happened, or the way Facebook disrupted the way we socialize. So it's, and then all of us don't need to be a data disruptor. So basically when we are saying basic descriptive analytics, just doing some kind of diagnostic work, saying, okay, what happened last 1 year? I did a 1 crore revenue and a 10% margin. But then there is a data aspirant, the companies that we call as data aspirants, where we have started to think about, can I use past and present and market data to start predicting outcomes? And that is the third stage. But where you want to get to is, at the minimum, be a data differentiator, where we start driving differentiation because we are considering data as a strategic asset. And we are moving towards what we call prescriptive analytics. And finally, where we want to really disrupt the market would be the data disruptors, which means we're using next-gen architectures, analytics, artificial intelligence to make automated decision-making, which means when you're getting when you get into Amazon, you get a lightning deal, it is not a person making those decisions. It is an automated decision making based on your profile, your buying habits, your patterns. So to get to that, and that's where you're really making use of good data. And our coach said it right, meaning you use all that information to finally enable good, sound decision making.
Okay, thank you very much. So that's the journey of data that aligns to the growth of the organization as well. Thank you very much. Well, we've got Anil Gupta ji from V-Line. Anil ji, tell us more about that story when Lata Mangeshkar ji and A.R. Rahman complimented your group.
So nice of you. Thank you. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
First of all, I would like to thank Rakesh for thinking to write this book and covering the areas which is very important for the business. Coming back to your question, how I try to convince Lataji and A.R. Rahman to get to the top of the business. You know, we were the last entrant to get into manufacturing of audio tapes. So there was a point where, my always ambition is whatever we do, we must be the leader in the country. तो उसके लिए मुझे बहुत जरूरी था कि I should approach Lata ji and Rahman ji. So they should be the brand ambassador of our product. And इतनी हमारे पास पैसे थे नहीं कि हम उसको publicity कर सकते. तो I directly seek an appointment with her. पहले तो वो reluctant थी. फिर मैंने उनको बोला नहीं मैडम मुझे आप 1 घंटे का टाइम दो. मैं आपको खुद म्यूजिक सुनाऊंगा. तो उनके घर पे जाकर पेटर रोड पे when I made her to listen. तो उन्होंने फिर क्या किया कि जो दिल वाले दुल्हनिया ले जाए तो उस का म्यूजिक आने वाला था. तो उन्होंने HMV में फोन करके बोला कि नहीं इस म्यूजिक के लिए पूरा आप V-Line का टेप लगाएंगे. तो मैं आई एम टेलिंग टू 96. तो उस समय जब राकेश जी का स्टार्ट हुआ वी सोल्ड ऑलमोस्ट 2 करोड़ कैसेट एंड 100% द टेप वाज यूज्ड फ्रॉम V-Line. तो इस तरह की कई सारी घटनाएं घटी. बाकी कमिंग बैक टू राकेश जी ये इन्फो ड्राइव इंडिया आई वुड लाइक टू से इनके डेटा में इतनी रिलायबिलिटी है. डेटा तो बहुत जल्दी इस डेटा हैज 100% रिलायबिलिटी. इनफैक्ट मैंने 2 प्रोजेक्ट लगाए लास्ट 10 साल में. एक में इनका डेटा का फॉलो नहीं किया तो आपको 5 साल स्ट्रगल करना पड़ा. और एक प्रोजेक्ट में हमने इनका डेटा को फॉलो किया तो विद इन 1 ईयर वी बिकम द लीडर इन द कंट्री. तो इनका डेटा इतना रिलायबल है और इतना करेक्ट है कि मैंने जिस प्रोजेक्ट में हमें 20 करोड़ रुपए लगाने थे हमने 60 करोड़ रुपए लगाए जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ द कलेक्टिंग द डेटा जो चाइना से इंपोर्ट हो रहा था. उस इंपोर्ट डेटा को एनालाइज करके उसके अंदर में सारा देखा कहाँ था, किधर से आ रहा है, किस प्राइस में आ रहा है, किस तरह की क्वालिटी, कौन सी कंपनी कितना ले रही है, क्यों ले रही है, ये सारी एनालिसिस से सारा प्रोजेक्ट उसी के बेसिस पे लगता है. Otherwise, we had no inclination about that product. We had never sold the product, but we become the leader in the field.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Anilji. Will we have Praveen Jajuji with us? Praveen ji is Assistant Vice President, Supply Chain and Commercial with PI Industries. Sir, you say that the tagline is inspired by science. So even data is science, Praveen ji?
It certainly is. And again, I also, like other panelists, would like to congratulate Rakesh ji on this, wonderful occasion. Heartiest congratulations and best wishes for your new book launch. See, we have been, I think, again, a customer of InfoDrive for last over a decade or so, and we completely rely on the data. Today, the first thing which we want, if in case we want to enter into any export market or decide about any pricing strategy, Volza is the name which comes to the mind, or InfoDrive is the name which comes to mind, today. So it is very interesting, what same product can have different price points in various markets, right? So to decide which product is to be priced accordingly for which market has to be decided based on the data, right? So some same product may have a different price point for the US, but it will be different for Africa. So this is what we get to know when we analyze the data properly and the authentic data which is available to us via Volza. So thank you so much, Rakesh ji, for that.
Okay, thank you very much. So we've discussed 4 pillars so far: importance of data, quantity, quality, and accepting the data and the corresponding data journey. Final pillar, leveraging the data. We are aware of the power of data. How do we leverage it? Kamalji, can you hear my voice?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear, sir. You come from GAIL, and you're the Executive Director of GAIL, and it's a pride of India, the Maharatna company. Tell us your experience as a professional with GAIL with so many years, the importance of data and leveraging the power of data.
No, first of all, thank you so much for your kind words. Before I talk about data, let me congratulate Rakesh ji for the book and all the very best for the success of the book. And thank you so much to Rakesh ji for his immense contribution to the industry. I am really saying from my experience that we must thank him for his immense contribution to the whole industry for taking the strategies forward. At GAIL, we are actually, when we started the exports, I remember about 2 years back, and it was all courtesy of the data provided by InfoDrive, that in the first year itself, we could export more than 1 lakh tons of material to various countries at the prices which we wanted. And, we could export to Nepal, Bangladesh, Turkey, China, Sri Lanka, any number of countries, and it would not have been possible without the authentic data which was provided by InfoDrive to us. So I agree to you that the importance of data, I think I will not talk much about it. Already a lot has been talked about it. Of course, the data without, you yourself said that somebody commented it is oxygen, and I agree with that. It is oxygen today, and everything is changing so fast. I think every day changes are there, and we need the data. We need updated data. We need data on a real-time basis to think that.
I thought, Kamalji, you will say
without that we cannot.
I thought, Kamalji, you will say data is natural gas. Thank you so much. And all these stories, the GAIL story, the PI Industries, V-Line, all of these stories are in the book, and we are almost nearing that stage when we'll unveil the book. But since we've talked about so much about data, I request Raman and Priya, our singers, to please come back again and present a couple of songs on data. Yes, the songs will be on data, as incredible as it may sound. But as Raman and Priya take their positions, one final question to CA Anita. Anita ji, since you are representing the industry, what patterns are you seeing in the industry regards leveraging the data?
Amit, leading organization in every industry are wielding data and analytics as competitive weapons. speed is becoming extremely important. Agility is becoming extremely important. Gartner predicts that by 2022, 90% of corporate strategies will explicitly mention information as a critical enterprise asset and analytics as a essential competency in the companies. So a company's ability to compete in the emerging digital economy will require us to embrace data, and any decisions that we make will need to be data-driven decisions, because otherwise you become vulnerable. And like many of the people here and the panelists said, you are vulnerable to risky decision going forward. And therefore, I will say that corporates are embracing data as a strategy. And therefore, it becomes so important to look for authentic sources. So I was feeling very proud when people were mentioning about how authentic and how Rakesh's data work has been helping companies to succeed. That's exactly the way to go.
Okay, thank you so much. I request Jyoti if you can really show us the slides of what is the nutshell that we got in terms of challenges and change, and that will provide us an insight. But to all who are tuned on YouTube and social media platforms, isn't it wealth of information as you see champions of industry sharing their experiences in the journey of data? And as someone rightly said, data-driven decision making is the game-changing opportunity to transform business profit. So we really, on International Day of Happiness, wish you lots and lots of business profits, because when you create wealth, not only we create wealth for ourselves, but for our neighbors too. So we've got the songs of data. Enjoy those songs, and also we'll play the slide that will recap our theme discussion that we've done over the last 1 hour. Over to the singers.
कुछ पाने की हो आस आस कोई अरमा हो जो खास खास आशाएं आशाएं आशाएं